Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. So, slightly different setup for Trek Reluctantly at the very beginning here. As you can tell, Dana is not here yet. See, tonight was Dana's open house for the first day of school. Her first day of school with students is tomorrow. Tonight was the open house for parents to come in and meet the teacher and such. That just ended. She didn't get out of there until 6, and so she won't be actually joining us on camera uh, for a little while yet, for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour or so. But sometime in the next few minutes, she should still be able to join us on the show. I believe. What was that? I believe she will be calling in soon. Let me see if this is. That was Dana messaging me to ask me if I'm live yet. She should be calling pretty soon. Um, and I'm sure she would be glad to know that indeed we are live. Yes, 2:55 AD. Actually, up here in Maryland, where I'm at, school starts a little later than it's starting for Dana, but it still starts in August. Yeah, Dana's school year starts earlier than any school year that I've ever heard of around here. But down there in Georgia, where she is, apparently they start early. So, all right. Just had to let her know that we were live. So yeah, while we're waiting for Dana to call in, how is everybody? How's everybody doing? Everybody good? Um, actually, 255 AD. I think um, I don't remember if Dana and I discussed it on a show before, but I know we've talked about it privately. Um, when schools around here first started to go to shift to a schedule where the school year started in August instead of September, I remember feeling so cheated. Like it felt wrong. It was like, we have to go back to school in August. This isn't right. This isn't fair. It's not even September yet. I think it was in elementary school, maybe fifth grade, or sixth grade, which for me was the first year of middle school. But it was somewhere in there where I had been in. I'd had enough years of schooling to get used to not going back until September, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh, by the way, school this year starts in August," and I was just like, "What? What is this? What are we doing? How is that right? How is that fair?" So yeah. Yeah, Philip, toward the middle to the end of August, I think, is when the school year starts around here. Now, I don't keep super close track of it because I don't work in the school district and I don't have kids in the school district or anywhere else. So I don't I'm not absolutely sure when the school year starts around here, but um I know that it's, yeah, if it's the same as it was back when I was in school, and I don't think that it's that different in terms of the schedule, then it's mid-August, possibly late August. Yeah, it's not as early as Dana's district, but it's earlier than it was when I was but a wee lad, for sure. Oh, and I posted it in the pinned message in the chat, but just so everybody knows, and I mentioned it when we first got started, but when Dana calls in, and Dana will be talking to us during her drive home from school, before she gets home and then jumps on the Zoom call with me, and you actually get to see her, because we talked it over, and we decided that we want Dana to be as distracted as possible during her drive home. So we're going to play Wordle first. Instead of watching the show together and then playing Wordle, we're playing Wordle first, and then when Dana gets home and gets on the call with us, then we will watch Hilda. So we're playing Wordle first as soon as Dana calls in. Um, so get your Wordle brain ready for for some early Wednesday Wordle. Why should she? Why should Dana start her class with by pretending to be Charlie from Charlie's Angels? I don't really, because there were only. I mean, although I think she would appreciate the small class size because there were only what, 3 angels at a time. There were only 3 angels, and yet, so if she had like. If she only had three people in, oh, here she is. She's calling. Hello.
Is this the Skype?
This is the Skype. Everybody can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, good. I can absolutely
Hi,
hear
Dana.
you. Yes. Hi, Steve. Hi, everybody.
So before we start playing Wordle, I feel like I have to ask, how did the open house go?
Pretty good. I had more parents show up than I anticipated. Steve, I think I told you about one of the things that I had decided to do, which was have caregivers write notes for students, encouragement to use those big, thick Crayola markers, so that they would write nice and big. And then I'm going to get those laminated and put them on a bulletin board. It's a sort of, non-toxic positivity type thing.
Right.
Well, what I hadn't anticipated was I printed off enough that I was pretty confident I'd be covered, but I didn't think about the fact that I encouraged, like, if more than one adult came in, I said, well, you can write one too. And I didn't think about the fact that I do have a freshman homeroom, since we loop with our students. And last year, the students that I've been with for several years graduated, so now I get freshmen. And so they come in to make sure that they get their schedules. Upperclassmen often just don't. They're like, I'll get my schedule. It's this afternoon or tomorrow morning. I have a schedule. It's not a big deal. There's not going to be a big difference. It drops off pretty sharply. So, like, of the dual enrollment students I have at other times, and the students I have for, like, other online classes, very few of them showed up, and they usually showed up by themselves without parents or guardians.
Right.
So, but the freshmen, they can't drive yet. so they all came with grown-ups. And then by about 5 o'clock, I ran out of papers. Because I had, like, it wasn't just on scrap paper. So some of them, the grown-ups didn't get, and I had one parent that I realized after he left, because I had the student's brother was actually in my homeroom previously. So he graduated last year. Now I'm getting his little brother as a freshman. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. So anyway, but his dad, I didn't even have him sign in. We just stood there talking for a little while. And I was like, well, thanks so much for coming in. And then they left, and I was like, who? But, it's not a big deal. I can get the information and just send him the, welcome, blah, blah, blah email, especially since I think I've got that on file somewhere since I just had the other kid last year.
Right.
So anyway, better, more grown-ups, more students coming by than I anticipated, and so I ran out of materials, which ultimately is a good problem. So I was thinking I was going to have to take some of my unfilled out papers, for words of encouragement, take them around to other teachers and, fill them out myself and just, like, fake it. But now I've got extra. So pretty stoked about that.
Huzzah.
Yep.
Yeah. So. Well, I'm glad you weren't lonesome. You weren't just sitting there bored for 2 hours.
Oh, and.
Yeah?
One of my very first students came by. One of my journalism students from, like, more than a decade ago. I'd have to look, but I'm thinking it was like probably like 2009 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it might have even been before that. So yeah, and now she's here with her stepdaughter is entering 9th grade. Her biological daughters her oldest biological daughter is going into first. Because I remember I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, how do you have a daughter who's in, like, upper elementary school all of a sudden? I'm like,
yeah.
Because, we were Facebook friends, and just, like, all of a sudden. But, So yeah, and but I was just like, oh my goodness. And so we talked for a good bit. I
That's
do
awesome.
not have her daughter in any of my classes, but I said, make sure she stops by and says hello. So, but it was really nice to see her, even though we've kept in touch, via social media for years and years now. But wow, that's kind of surreal.
That's
But
awesome.
nice to see her. Glad she's doing well. I'm really happy.
Yeah. I bet that
So
does make you
yeah,
feel good as a
overall
teacher.
really good. Yeah. Um, Oh, and like this morning, because we have to stay late for open house, we during planning we were allowed to take some comp time, and I took mine this morning, so I didn't actually get to school until like 9:45 or so,
Right.
which was really cool because this morning I had another former student, and I showed this to you. I had another former student who messaged me on Facebook and said, "I just want you to know that you have made she didn't phrase it this way, you have made an impact on my life." She was watching SpongeBob SquarePants, and she's like, and they drew a parallel without saying directly.
Yeah.
They put Mr. Krabs in this situation where he did something bad, and he was feeling guilty about it. And he got away with it, but he was feeling guilty, and he's like, and I could. She said, I remember that it was it was clearly a reference to the Telltale Heart. And it's like, aww,
That's great.
yay! So it's just so
That's
nice
awesome.
when yeah. Not just. I mean, I honestly don't care if she remembers the Telltale Heart. She didn't say who was by. I don't know if she remembers that. Wouldn't be surprised if she did. Not that hard.
It's not
But
a very, I mean, it's a pretty well-known story. Like,
yeah. But the other thing is, what really made that cool was that she thought of me and decided to tell me about it. That was what made it special.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So what do you say we play some Wordle?
let's go for it before my
Are
brain
are you
withers
ready?
away any further.
Before your
Probably
brain
not.
wither.
So okay, so I told you, and I'm telling everybody else this is the first time. I'm
Yes.
changing my first word,
New starter word.
new starter word,
And
because the reason
yes.
for this is my word has been what, stare. That's what it
Stare.
was. It was stare. But then my second word, in case we didn't get anything in the last few weeks or the last few times we played, we haven't gotten much on that first one. My second word was lions,
That's
and
right.
it doubles up on the end. But I figured out if I use heart, Heart, on the first one, that gives me an H, which is another very common consonant, especially in conjunction.
Very true.
And I still get the S in the second word if I need it, and then I don't have the doubling up.
So
So
we're gonna
let's go for it.
we're gonna start with heart.
You are a poet, Steve.
Heart. Here we go.
Okay.
And well, it was a good choice because there is an H and there is a T, but neither of them are in the right place. So an H and a T, not in the right place. No E, no A, and no R.
Let's go with lions for the second word then, which we know is not going to
Lions.
be correct because it doesn't have an H and doesn't have a T. Wouldn't be
But,
surprised if TH is either at the beginning or the end.
right. There is an O, but the O is in the wrong place. So we have three of the
Okay.
letters. They're just not in the right place. So an H, an O, and a T somewhere. No L, no I, no N, and no S.
Okay. L-I-O. Okay. What about the word mouth? M-O-U-T-H.
Mouth. M-O-U-T-H. Okay, here we go. Mouth.
So let's before we don't put it in.
I put it in. You told me to put it in.
No, I said
And
use it, but I wanted to double check. And
well, it's completely right except for the M.
oh man. Ugh.
So it's something O-U-T-H. Everything else is
Well,
right.
it's not south.
It can't be
It's
south.
not south.
No, it can't be south. Could it be couth? C-O-U-T-H?
It could. Hang on, let's keep thinking because there's probably
Okay.
some others. So coos.
Youth with a Y. Actually, that's probably a better one. Youth with a Y. That's probably a
Yeah,
more.
that's what I was
That's probably
thinking.
more likely than Couth.
I mean, I don't think they go by which words are likely, but
Well,
so
yeah,
there's a
but
few options.
that's true. Is there another one?
I'm trying. I can't think of anything else, but yeah. Well, let's go for youth, and if not, let's go for Couth.
Okay, let's try youth.
Yeah.
Youth. And that's it.
Yay!
In the
We're
fourth
so
try.
awesome.
You know, for the first couple times we were playing this, the third try was our lucky spot, but the last little while it's been the fourth try. That's been where we've gotten it. So there you
Well,
go.
also
Youth.
we were doing really well with stare, but like I think we'll have better luck in terms of like getting it without having, without. Well, I think we'll feel more confident about it because sometimes like when you get like we did where we have the last four letters and we know they're all right, but you have
Right.
all sorts of different combinations with what the first letter might be. It's
Yeah.
really useful to have two starter words, like you have your starter and you
yeah.
have your backup.
I like that
To
idea.
rule out some of the most,
Yeah.
yeah,
I like that strategy
so.
of it's a good strategy. And Radical Bacon in the chat was on the same wavelength. They also suggested youth. So there you go. Good.
So what else?
Yeah.
What else? I'm glad I'm going home. And I'm glad we figured out a way to do this.
Yeah, this is great.
To wait until I got home so we can have it at the regular time. But I was just like, are you kidding me? It has to be on Wednesday. It would have been great if they could have had open house tomorrow night because I
The
have
first day of school.
the Democrats meeting. Well, but I
Oh,
have
that's
the Democrats
right.
meeting at 7 o'clock.
So it would have
And
given you
so
something to do
now
in between.
I have to stay. Yes, exactly. It would have been perfect. But now I just have to stay because I'm not going to drive all the way home and then drive all the way back and then drive all the way home. That's just not happening. So I'm just going to have to,
Not very efficient.
power through. Maybe I'll pack my yoga mat and just like take a nap after school or something. Hopefully I can sleep well.
I have been telling you for years at this point that you should fix up a little nap nook under your desk. And whenever you get the opportunity, you crawl under there and curl up and take yourself a nice nap. You put some blankets and some pillows,
You really don't have an idea what teacher desks are like, Steve.
Pull the chair in.
I can't fit under my desk.
Have you tried? Have you really tried?
My arm can fit. And I can fit, now I can fit, I might be able to fit if I curled up in a ball and I was under the knee hole area, but I don't think I can lie underneath it. Because there are drawers on either side of the knee hole area that come down really far. And that area is only about 4 inches off the floor.
Well, maybe you could.
Oh yeah, I see. Maybe I could lose some weight. Is that what you were going to say, Steve? Is that what you were going to say? I just need to lose some weight so I'll fit under the desk? Is that what this is?
That's right. That's exactly what I was going to say. Maybe you could fit under the desk to take a nap if you dropped a few pounds. No, I was going to say
more than a few, Steve, honestly.
I was going to say maybe you could, find a proper nap taken desk and put that on your Amazon wish list.
I like my desk, Steve.
Yeah, but it ain't good for taking naps.
No, but it's good for holding my stuff.
Well, the new desk would be perfectly fine at holding your stuff.
You don't know that, Steve. You don't know that.
I have faith in your ability to choose a desk that would meet your needs.
We talked about this. You are unrealistic.
Well, but not always. I think in this case, I'm being quite realistic.
Yeah, I know. You think that in other cases too, even when you're being completely unrealistic.
I don't really think that's the case.
I believe you. I believe you don't think so. You just happen to be wrong. It's okay, Steve. It's okay.
I mean, I think there are certain opinions of mine that you find unreasonable or unrealistic that I think are perfectly
Because
reasonable.
they are. Sure. Whatever.
Kemp Chalmers in the chat wants to know, how tall are you? You are 6'1". So I'm not saying she wouldn't have to like curl up under the desk. I'm just saying.
Oh, Steve.
Yes.
I've got so of the students who came in, my freshman homeroom students.
Yeah.
2 of them are twins, and they're taller than me.
Oh my! So
As
you have giant twins. So
I
and they're
have giant
freshmen,
twins.
so they're
And
not done growing yet.
they ain't done. They're like ginormous. I've had their older brother. He came in too, and I was like, hey, it's good to see you. So anyway, but they're so big because yes, they're tall and they're kind of thin, but they're also they're relatively broad shouldered too. So they're big.
And wow. So and you said their brother was tall too?
He's relatively tall, but I think he's about my height. He might be a little taller than me. They have me to work, as in I can't stand up really high on tiptoes because of my hecked up feet.
Right.
But their mom said, "Can we get a picture with you?" I said, "Sure." So she took a picture of all 3 of us. I'm sitting in the middle. I stretched up on tiptoe, and they were still taller than me. I think they've got to be at least 6'5".
So Radical Bacon wants to know, are they identical twins?
I did not ask. They do look very similar, but they may. Siblings can look very similar. I did not ask if they're identical.
Did they look? So they looked similar, but not necessarily identical.
They look very similar, and I just met them, so no, I can't tell them apart. But I just met them.
Okay. Well, if you can't tell them apart at first glance, I'd say they're identical.
They're probably identical twins, but sometimes siblings can look very similar and not actually be identical twins. You know what I mean? Like even siblings who are just born 9 months apart sometimes can look so similar that people are like, "Oh, are you twins?" And they're like, "Are you identical twins?" No, we're not twins at all. So and so's almost a year older than me. Oh, okay. Sometimes it just happens that way.
Kemp Chalmers in the chat says, "Damn, she's tall. I bet she used to throw you around, didn't she? LOL." No, Kemp, we're the exact same height.
Wait. What is this used to? What is this used to? I don't throw him around anymore, physically,
but
because
psychologically.
we live in different states. Oh yeah, all the time.
No, we did. She didn't throw me around. We're the exact same height. It was a stalemate. It was like the immovable force, the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. You don't think it was yes, Dana?
Steve, when
yes, Dana?
we were dating,
yes,
one of us ended up with a hickey on their forehead.
That's not because you overpowered me.
That's because you didn't think it would work.
I gave myself over to it. I didn't.
Now here's the thing.
I submitted.
I didn't think it would work either. And I had no idea it would work as well as it did.
It was quite,
Holy heck, that was hilarious.
It was
I am still impressed with my abilities to this day.
As you should be. It was quite prominent.
I know. Now, however, in retrospect, if I'd really been thinking about it, I would have made it a little bit lower down, like a Frida Kahlo's kind of, giving you a unibrow, because it was high enough that you could kind of hide it with the ball cap that you always wear. I'd made it lower down.
So you would have made it even more prominent.
Oh, heck yeah. What's the point otherwise?
That's true. What is the point of giving someone a hickey on their forehead if it's not going to be as prominent as possible?
As embarrassing as possible.
Yeah.
What happened? Did you get up in a fight with a vacuum cleaner? Well, in a manner of speaking. Although I've never called her that.
How dare you, sir? You take that back. Uh, um, Also, Caitlin in the chat a little bit earlier said, "Oh, looking at your picture that I have set up here for your phone call, uh, said, oh, is that a trans flag in Dana's photo?" And it is. I guess it would be more properly described as an LGBTQ pride flag, right? Because it's not just trans
I
pride.
call it.
It's
I think it's actually called the Pride Progress flag.
the Pride Progress flag. Okay, yeah. And when Dana
But
gets
yeah,
home and
it has
gets
the
on camera, you'll
chevrons
see
on
it
it, so
better.
it's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because it's got like the main part of it is sort of the traditional rainbow pride flag, and then there's like the chevron that comes in from the side that has uh, the trans flag colors and the uh, black and brown
And the black and
colors.
brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not for, quote, black and brown people. Brown is for like pride for all races and all colors, but black is actually to remember those we lost.
There are in it, like how they found space for all of these different representations and did it in a way that actually looks visually appealing, and it doesn't
Yeah.
look like cluttered or busy or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. I'm so hungry. So I called. The pizza is in the oven. I don't know if it will be ready for me when I get there, but my daughter has put the pizza in the oven. Bless her.
Good kid.
I'll say. Now, did I tell you I did have a donut? Oh, it was so good. Oh yeah, with the
You
caramel
did.
frosting.
Earlier today, yes.
Man, they know how. I mean, class sizes are important, but I love food.
But donuts are more important.
I don't know that donuts are more important. Donuts are more important, like, in the immediate right now. I mean, especially since I don't actually have my students right now, so,
I'm sure it was a welcome sort of sugar rush pick-me-up, having a
So,
donut
yeah,
in
I
the
had
middle
to
of
go
the day.
down to the office to get it, and it did not even make it halfway back down the hall. It was just like, it was gone.
It was gone.
It was so
Well,
gone.
why waste a perfectly good donut? How many bites does it take?
6.
Doesn't take. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, what? What are we running a marathon here or what? 255 AD would like me to ask you, Dana.
Sure.
How many times you've had today during the open house? How many times did you have to reassure parents that you would not be teaching any critical race theory?
Well, I think I said, although I don't remember if I told just you this, via message, but most of the parents who came were parents of students that I will have in homeroom.
Right.
That I will not have. So I'm not actually teaching this semester.
So no worries.
Yeah.
You won't be able to indoctrinate them.
Well, not through the curriculum. I mean, it's still me, dude.
Just through osmosis, just through
so,
exposure.
So, yeah, in one of the classes that, and just in one of the classes that I was just facilitating. I was not teaching. I was doing the online support for students who are doing credit recovery, who are taking online classes that we don't offer. Like, there was a student taking Japanese, there's another one taking psychology,
right,
through like various online programs and different, remote schools. So essentially, I don't have a computer lab, but I have a classroom, and I have, when I got my master's, I specialized in online learning. So, So through these programs, they would just bring their Chromebooks in and they would study. And so there were a couple of students who were in there, and one wanted to use a different name. And was apparently talking to some of their table mates about it, and a student sitting near them. And one of the students who's had me before in English class said, "Oh, that's okay. You can tell Miss Cole. It'll be fine." And I'm just like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
word gets around, even if and it's not like I'm going to go to a student and I've never asked students what their pronouns are.
Yeah.
But when students tell me, I want you to call me this, as long as it's not something school, I had a student request that I call him Big Poppy. And I said to him,
a big Red Sox
so
fan from back in the day. I like that.
And so I said, so is this the name that I should use when I am calling calling home to introduce myself to, your caregivers? And
hi, this is Miss Cole. I have Big Poppy in class.
Yeah. And I just wanted to introduce myself and let you know, a few things about the way I've got the course set up and see if you had any questions for me.
Big Poppy has been really struggling with the homework this year.
Oh boy. So
I'd like to see if we can schedule a conference to talk about Big Poppy's performance in class, because I feel like Big Poppy's head is no longer in the game, so to speak. Anyway.
Now, Steve, why are you assuming that any calls that I made to Big Poppy's family would necessarily be negative?
That's true. If this Big Poppy is anything like his namesake, he would be a great success. Al Radical Bacon in the chat, Big Poppy is striking out? Let us hope not. Let us hope he is coming through in the clutch.
Indeed.
As Big Poppy was known to do.
There will be joy in Mudville.
Indeed.
All right. Well, I'm pulling into the driveway, so I'm going to hang up here, go in, hopefully get a plate of pizza, and I will wake up the computer and join you in just a few minutes.
Join us. All right. That's excellent. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. So, yeah, Dana will be in just a second. 255 AD, the backdrop for the phone call there was one of the new James Webb images. I just figured, because the backdrop for the Hangout is a picture of a nebula. When Dana comes in and we switch to both of us on screen at the same time, that's it's the same one I always use, but it's like a background of like a purple nebula. I don't know if that's a Hubble image or if it's just like something that somebody made. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, that was certainly a James Webb image for sure. Those are gorgeous, aren't they? Those James Webb images are just, to a lifelong space nerd like me, that stuff is fantastic. Yes, Caitlin, it would be Big Poppy is hitting homers for sure. Absolutely. And, Big Poppy during his career was, like I said, was known as a clutch hitter, especially in the postseason. And the postseason is September and October. So, in the first semester, so to speak. It's weird. Like it's the first semester of school, but it's really the last semester of the baseball season. But, September, October is when Big Poppy would do his, maybe not his best work, but his most exciting work. Oh, good tip, Caitlin. I wasn't aware of that. If it's got 4-pointed star shines, it's Hubble. If there's no distortions like that, then it's probably rendered. Well, there you go. Oh, and Radical Bacon with even more knowledge. James Webb has 6 points. I did not know that. I did not know that. That is wild stuff. Why did I go into a Johnny Carson all of a sudden, like for no reason? It was because I did not know that, because that's a Carson thing, and then for some reason I just stuck with it. 255 AD, do you not wish they'd given it a different name given James Webb's involvement in the Red Scare? Well, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. They named it after James Webb because James Webb was a very important figure in NASA for many, many years. I mean, of course, I'm sure there were there were other people they could have named it after that wouldn't uh, raise quite the same troubling associations, Um, I love what nerds you guys are. Being able to point out the not only the number of points that James Webb has, but Caitlin in with the correction saying the Webb also kind of has 8 because there are 2 tiny horizontal lines to join the 6 big ones. I see. I've been a space nerd like my whole life, but when I saw those pictures, my thought was, ooh, look at those pretty pictures. Like it never even occurred to me to take note of how many points there were in the stars. So that's really cool. Yeah, Caitlin, exactly. The Von Braun Space Telescope. Yeah, see, C255 AD, they could have done worse. They they definitely could have named it after a more problematic important figure in the American space program for sure. We've named the telescope after Dr. Werner von Braun in honor of his NASA work, specifically, that's it. Anything else he may have done at an earlier point in his life, we're not making any approval or endorsement of that whatsoever. It's just for the NASA stuff, okay? I mean, that wouldn't. I don't think that would work. Ah, there she is. Hello, Dana.
Okay.
All right. While
Okay.
you were on your way in, we were discussing possible alternate names for the James Webb Space Telescope.
Ah, yes. Well, so what'd you come up with?
Well, Caitlin cheekily suggested the the Werner von Braun Space Telescope, which and then 255 AD suggested that we name it after a mythological thing like Apollo, but obviously not Apollo because Apollo has already been done.
Yes.
And then actually Radical Bacon. Oh, Radical Bacon. This is a suggestion after my own heart. Radical Bacon says name it after Gus Grissom, my favorite astronaut.
Come on, do the thing. So I don't have
my second favorite
scrolled
astronaut.
Up. Oh wow, I'm able to see the whole thing. So scrolling. Yeah, Snake Bit Cat, we're starting students. Well, some of the students have already come back, but classes begin tomorrow. I don't know. Have I talked about the schedule? Because I mean, it's different from. I mean, when you went to school, Steve, when did your classes start?
We talked about that before you called. When I was in the earlier years of elementary school, it never started until September, but then
like after Labor Day.
Yeah, but then eventually it got to the point where it would be like the last week of August, and eventually starting in August became the standard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Making sure everything is clicked correctly. You're gonna have the right things. So.
And you've got season 2, episode 11 of Hilda queued up and paused at 0 and ready to go.
No, like I joined the conversation first. Obviously.
Okay, well, you said
like
everything was clicked
important.
and set up, so I just wanted to. I mean, we don't have to start right this second.
Okay. I'm making sure that things are clicked correctly. The processing, which know because like you have to click the buttons.
I do.
And I'm like, are we live yet? Are we live yet? Are we live yet? Are we live yet? By the way, did you get my text?
Yes, I did. And I texted back, which apparently was a waste of time.
Well, because I was concentrating on getting out to the car so that I could call you and join everybody. Hi.
Okay.
So
great.
So we started like typically in September, usually after Labor Day. And it's gonna be 15 minutes till pizza. Oh, however, I have something else.
Ooh, what's that?
sticky bun
Oh,
made from scratch.
well, I
And
think.
the glaze has orange zest.
Ooh, oh, boy, I bet that's good.
Why do I have to have family members who are skilled at baking? Oh my gosh, it's so good. So yeah, I like the schedule that we're on because, I'm ready to go back. I've had a nice long break and I'm looking forward to, I mean, since we got out earlier too. So I've had a nice long break. So now I'm ready to go back. And so it doesn't suck to go back before everybody else because I've had a nice long break.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, when you've gone through April and state testing and May with no break all the way through until Memorial Day, and then other teachers like, oh, we have reviewing for finals after Memorial Day, and then we still have finals, and then we have post planning. I'm just like, I'm not going to say anything because I'm done. we usually have post planning like the day or two after Memorial Day, but that's it. So.
Mr. Heavy Steps, no, I have not seen For All Mankind. For All Mankind is on Apple Plus, and I have reached my limit of streaming services. I am not subscribing to Apple Plus just to see For All Mankind. But I hear it's excellent. I hear it's excellent.
Not necessarily. That's not the only show.
No, I'm sure there's other stuff. Well, but here's the.
Isn't the Jon Stewart show on it?
Yeah, but here's the thing. There's more stuff that I want to watch that I don't have time to watch on the stuff I subscribe to already.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
I know the feeling.
Why add even more stuff?
I think I said that this morning on Twitter when I couldn't sleep. Like, somebody posted about they were tired of books. I didn't get a napkin. Well, screw it. I'm going to wash my clothes.
I was just going to say, you're dressed, ain't you?
Well, yeah, and I mean, after I get done with this, I'm going to go and I'm going to wash and I'm going to go to bed and these are going to go in the laundry. So, but it's not, it's nothing that will stain them. So it's just, butter and sugar. Delicious. So, and somebody was talking about how much they were tired of books that was like, oh, the ennui of, immortality.
Right. But because if you're immortal, you have time to do all the things you don't have time to do.
Yes, well, and they talked about that, and I'm just like, they publish books that I want to read faster than I can read them. So the longer I'm alive, the bigger my to-read list gets.
Right.
So yeah.
Until inevitably the publishing industry collapses, and then you can finally catch up.
You're assuming that it will. Why are you?
Well, that's part of the joke I was making.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was a joke. See, here's the thing. Jokes are supposed to be funny. Like that one.
Oh, you like that? The bit where I feign quitting in frustration and or despair, you find funny.
Oh, I didn't know you were feigning quitting. I was moving windows around so that I could be ready for the show that you were like blah 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 blah.
Are you got Netflix up and ready to go?
I will.
You do?
Are we on?
Mm-hmm. We're on Hilda. Hilda season 2, episode 11, the Jorts Incident. Yes.
There you go. Oh my God, it's so good.
Caitlin, I have referenced that episode with Dana more times than I have referenced any other Twilight Zone episode with her. We're doing a show now. We did the first episode just recently on Dana's channel where we watched City Lights together, and we're doing another one on my channel in the next couple of weeks whenever I have time to edit the video and put it up, where we watch the 2008 Get Smart movie together. And then we're going to alternate back and forth between watching movies on each other's channel, and we'll each pick a different movie. And one of these days, we're going to watch that Twilight Zone episode. because I have referenced it many times. And I feel like Dana could really relate to Mr. Henry Bemis.
Mostly. I don't know. I'm not familiar with, what his condition is.
What do you mean, his condition?
With the glasses.
What? We don't learn what it doesn't matter what his condition is. All you need to know is that he can't see without his glasses. His vision is all blurry, like blurry enough that he can't read without his glasses. I don't know what particular condition he has. And frankly, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant to the story.
Not realistic.
Who cares if it's realistic? It's the Twilight Zone. There's a point being made. It doesn't matter if it's realistic. The guy survives a nuclear blast because he's in a bank vault. We're not realistic. We're not dealing with realism here.
And look, I'm grumpy. I'm hungry.
Okay. Ooh, Caitlin. Well, those are two good ones. Caitlin says the only two Twilight Zone episodes I've ever seen on actual live TV were that one and the one Shatner was in with the gremlin on the plane. Oh, that's also a classic. Although not my favorite Shatner Twilight Zone. My favorite Shatner Twilight Zone is the other one he did, I think before that, called Nick of Time, where he and his wife are their car breaks down and they're stuck in a small town for a few hours, and he becomes convinced that a fortune-telling napkin holder is predicting his future. Oh, such a great episode.
And of course, the other one that I'm kind of curious about, because I'm curious how it, stacks up to the story, is The Good Life.
Oh yeah, we got to watch that one too. Yeah, that's again. I've never read the story, so I don't know how it compares. But just as an episode unto itself, great episode. Great episode.
Mm-hmm. We could do it as a special episode of Read Away, where we because the story's available online.
We could read the story and then watch the episode.
And then, watch, if we can find the episode, here's where it's streaming, do that as a watch alone.
That'd be cool. We could do that.
Because you haven't read the story and I haven't seen the episode. Pretty neat.
Maybe we could do that after we finish Murderbot.
We can do that, conceivably, possibly.
Conceivably. I mean, if you're up for it.
I am nearsighted and I'm getting to the point where it's that time. I'm going to need bifocals pretty soon. I don't need them yet, but I noticed I'm, when I do if I make jewelry, I noticed that for the really close stuff, I'm looking over my glasses. Yeah. Or when I did my fingernails, when I go to get the little bits that have, of the nail polish that have gone around on the cuticles, and I go to pick it off, sometimes I'm just like that. So probably another couple of years I'll need bifocals. So yeah.
And then you'll be thanking Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, Caitlin, -615. I think I'm at -5 or -5.5. So without my glasses, this is blurry. This is clear, right about here. Right about here. So I mean, and my thing is, can't read without his glasses. And of course, this is not the point of the story, I'm sure. But when, like you said, holding the book right here is really inconvenient. But it's possible. It's possible. And if you are really that determined, if you don't have any glasses and there's been an apocalypse and there are not going to be any more glasses, you can still read.
All I want to say is this, and you haven't watched the episode yet, so who knows what your reaction will be. Sometimes I honestly don't know. I honestly have no idea what your reaction will be to things I show you. But if we watch it, and if the only reason you don't really enjoy it is because of some technicality due to the condition of his eyes, I will feel so bad for you. I will weep for you. I will be like, I'll
Oh,
be like,
oh man,
what?
that is so tempting. That is so
I'll
tempting.
be like, I'll just, my heart will break. I'll be like, you poor, you poor woman. You can't, you can't enjoy this terrific thing because you can't let go of some meaningless technicality.
Um, 255 AD. I mean, it depends. I mean, yes, you can. I mean,
I'm sure that there's a way to do it and
yeah.
make it good. I mean, if you can make a pizza out of a bagel, which you can, by the way, and quite a good one if you know what you're doing. I mean, if you can
If
make a
that
pizza out of
that word is so important,
yeah,
Steve. That word is
See,
so important.
Mr. Heavy Step says it doesn't hold the sauce very well, but maybe there's some way to prepare it or, you know, change it in some
Or
way.
to use a thicker sauce.
Use a
I would
thicker
say.
sauce. Yeah. Something. I'm sure there must be some way to do it. Yeah. You can make a pizza, anything that's like even remotely crust like, I think you could make a pizza out of it if you are determined enough to.
You could have pizza, like you could have like pizza style quiche or frittata. That's really not even all that crust like. Very eggy.
That's true.
Okay. Well,
you ready?
Mhm.
Okay, everybody. We're going to watch this episode of Hilda. So if you haven't queued it up yet, go ahead and queue it up on Netflix.
And if you have queued it up, you might need to reload.
You might need to reload it just to make sure you're ready to go. Radical Bacon, sure, you can make pizza out of a pretzel. Why couldn't you?
Well, it depends on the size of the pretzel.
Depends
too.
on it depends on what we're talking about in terms of a pretzel. But yeah, of course.
If we're talking about those little pretzel minis that are like this big, that's
that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. You'd have to paint the sauce on. You know.
I know, yeah, and go around like the
place the cheese one shred at a time.
Well, no, what you do is you do the sauce on the pretzel, but then you put a piece of pepperoni on it, and then you can put the cheese on top of the pepperoni.
Oh, there you go. So you have like a surface. That's really smart. I was also going to say maybe put the sauce on the pretzel and then turn it upside down and like dip it in the cheese.
Yeah.
So the cheese sticks
and then you could put the pepperoni on top of that.
That's right.
So that the cheese would sort of help the pepperoni to stick.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of options for
I think you could definitely make that work. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could definitely.
Although it would be better with a nice big soft pretzel.
Yeah. Oh.
Good stuff. Although I think what I would do is I would have soft pretzels, and then I would have marinara dipping sauce, and then some shredded, not shredded, but like the powdery Parmesan cheese. So you'd like dip it in the marinara sauce, and then you'd cover it with the Parmesan.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I know. I'm so hungry, Steve.
Well, let's try to take your mind off it by watching some Hilda, shall we?
Let's do.
All right. So are you ready to go?
Yes, I am.
All right, everybody. So. I hope everybody's ready to go. Everybody's paused at 0:00, and I will count us in. I'll do 3, 2, 1, play as usual. And when I say play, everybody hit play.
Woo.
So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Ooh.
They named a snack after jean shorts? Is that one mouse wearing a sweater? A bunch of them are wearing sweaters.
Wait, did I say that the mice disappeared at some point? I don't know why I'm getting all caps that. I'm confused.
I don't remember if you said that or not.
Oh, there, miss.
Did he just move there from Tennessee or something? Hasn't he ever read that children's book, If You Give a Mouse a Jort?
He must be related to David.
But he's an adult, so he has mammals crawling on him, you know. Oh, Philip, good call. Jorts delivery guy is wearing jorts.
Maybe that's where they got the name.
Maybe. Ah, Caitlin with the callback there. Apparently that's where it happened.
See, I forgot.
Me too.
Because that's the thing I do.
So many jorts. Ah, Jorts corporate headquarters. Jorts Tower.
It's Inspector Gadget.
I just noticed that the Jort snack is in the shape of a pair of shorts. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Although the color seems to suggest that the Jorts snack is not a Jort. It's not blue like Jorts are.
Men.
Yay! Pizza has arrived.
God.
Jort? Nothing funny going on here. It's completely normal.
I love that he's got a suit and tie and still has his shorts and boots.
And the Jorts, yeah. Well, he's a company
Jorts
man.
guy.
Yeah. It is big time John Cena energy, and I appreciate it. Well, it's not very funny.
Jeff, only on Wednesdays.
I try to push the microphone away while I'm eating. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference, but
I'm just not very good at staying close to the microphone anyway, so.
So many things to crawl on me. What is this, a sequel?
That's okay, 255 AD. No, obviously they don't think. Blah, de, blah, de, blah.
We must obey the witch prime directive. Oh, he's just looking for a place to pee.
Natural order of things.
Ah, spelling and entering. If you know what I mean.
Um, Um, David, I'm right there with you. So 255 AD, I don't know how much is that much. I do shed a lot, but my hair's not as thick as it used to be. So it's not as much as it used to be. So it seems like less to me. That works. See, David is useful sometimes,
Gee,
once
where
in
are
a
we
while.
going to find the Jorts CEO? Could he possibly be in the gigantic building that has Jorts written on the top of it? Gotta go.
Very specific. Mm.
Hey, Dana. Hey, Dana. Hey, Dana. Do you
Hey,
think this
hey,
is a good plan?
obviously not. That poor guy.
Because I think it sucks.
I need to do that to my hair more often. I'm liking the waves that I got.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you. I mean, it's actually tangled, but it looks good, and that's the important thing. I was happy with how it came out when I did the twist and put it back.
Yeah.
I love the video game music.
Yeah. Oh. For some reason, I thought your name would be Lydia. He looks surprised in his own portrait. It's like, what?
Shouldn't have split up.
No.
I don't know if we do. I do not have one.
It didn't look familiar to me. I thought the one that David had. Well, I noticed the big one that he had, like the shop vac. I didn't notice the. I didn't notice that it had a little face.
Hooray!
I mean, the good thing about being sent to the juvenile void is it is expunged from your record once you turn 18.
David is so happy to be left out.
He's like, I'll be right over here. Now it really is a Ghostbusters movie. Dun dun dun.
So I'm very curious, did they cut the whiskers off before she went home? Or
I was
if
wondering
not,
about that. Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to know how her mom was going to react to that.
Oh my God, what have you done?
Hilda, what have you gotten into this time?
Yeah, that's probably more what it would be like.
No, not quite so. Not quite so soon. Hilda, what have you gotten into this time?
You little monster.
You're so mean, Steve. Mean, Steve. All right.
That was a really good episode. I enjoyed that a lot.
That was a nice episode.
I like the ones that have like a very specific kind of premise. You know, it's like a little self-contained adventure like that. I think that's really cool. Yeah. So, anyway, what were you about to say? Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Is that you giving me the wrap up signal?
Yeah, which
That's
is
right.
I hair is down, shoes are off, earrings are out.
You are ready. You are gonna just like
I've been up since 3.
If the tub was right next to where your desk is, you would just tip right over it.
I would have literally already been running the water.
Right.
I would have muted myself so that it wouldn't be a disturbance, and then only, I would have made sure to talk leaning over towards the mic so that you could hear me over the running water.
So let's wrap it up then. So on Friday, I will be back for another edition of Ask Away. So if you are a patron or a member and you have not submitted your question yet, you have until Friday at 6 p.m. to get your question submitted so I can answer it on the show. And then the next day on Dana's channel, it's Saturday 6, right?
Yes. Now 2:55 AD, I'll say,
we are close to the end of the show. We are ending the show.
Oh! I thought he meant Hilda. I was like, we finished that. We're trying to wrap it up because I am really tired, and tomorrow's the first day with students. So
you need your rest.
I need to sleep, you guys. Actually, I'm gonna put my hair up though because I already washed it this morning, so I don't need to. I need to not get it wet. I just need to get it out of the way.
So Saturday 6 on Saturday on your channel.
Yes. Now I'm thinking we might have guests, so it might be a relatively brief Saturday 6. It will be crazy brief because I will still do all 6. But I might get to
sprint through it.
Well, not sprint, but I might like not do as much like chit chat as I tend to do, because I feel like doing a really short show if I'm just like, here are my 6 things, blah 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 blah. It's like, what is the point? It's about connecting and community and those other C things. Oh, yeah, 2:55 AD. We finished the episode. Like,
Well, I think maybe he means like as a series.
Oh,
how many more episodes are there?
I don't know. That was season 2, episode 11. I do not know.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. That was season 2,
there
episode 11.
I'm getting ready to wash and brush my teeth and go to bed.
We have 2 episodes left in this season, and that Caitlin has it in the chat. 2 episodes left, and then the movie.
Whoa, we are almost...
And I think they're doing another season at some point, but it hasn't been released yet. So there will be more Hilda at some point. But we are close to being finished, at least for now, with Hilda. So.
Did we have a plan for what we're doing after Hilda?
Yes. Well, you suggested we do North and South, but that was contingent on the ability of enough people to be able to see it for themselves to watch along with us, because I think you have it like on Plex, don't you?
I thought it was on YouTube.
Maybe, I don't know. I know when I looked it up, when you suggested it, I looked it up, and I can watch it because I subscribe to BritBox through Amazon Prime, so I could watch it there. But I'm sure there are lots of people who watch our show who don't have that, and wouldn't.
We might have actually gotten it on DVD. I don't remember.
Well, we'll figure something out. Out. In the meantime, so Friday is Ask Away right here on this channel. Saturday is Saturday 6 on Dana's channel. Next week, we will be back for another Trek Reluctantly, where we will be starting one of the most celebrated episodes of Deep Space Nine in the history of the show. We'll be watching part 1 of maybe my favorite 2-part episode of Star Trek ever.
Oh my.
If it's not, it's my second favorite. It's right up there as far as favorite.
Excuse me. I think I meant, oh my.
Oh my. Past tense. That is next week on Trek Reluctantly. The first part of
Is
past
it a
tense.
is it a camping episode?
No, it is not a camping episode where Commander Sisko and the others reminisce fondly about tents that they have
I thought they just walked past.
in the
I
past.
thought that they walked past them and they're like, "Screw you, we're getting a cabin."
So see, I was saying it's tents from their past. You're saying they have just walked past some tents.
Mhm. They have passed some tents.
They have passed some tents.
They passed tents.
They passed some tents, and O'Brien's like, "Oh, look at those tents."
And Sisko's like, "No, we are getting a cabin. It will be air conditioned."
Yeah, look, I told you we're going to a KOA campground. We're getting a cabin. Anyway,
although I'm not sure that KOAs have air conditioning. Maybe they do now.
Pretty sure they don't, or at least not the ones I stayed at. Never did. But it's been a long time. Maybe they've upgraded. What's the point of going camping if it has air conditioning?
Comfort.
I feel like you're pushing it staying in a cabin, period. I mean, camping is you get a tent, you go out in the woods, you pitch your tent, you sleep in the damn tent. It depends on what time, it depends on what time of year you go. If you go and it's ridiculously hot, then I agree with you. But if you go and it's nice, good weather, then I love going camping, which is why I haven't been for probably 12 years. Anyway.
Because you love it just that much.
Because I love it just that much. Anyway, so Deep Space Nine next week, first part of Past Tense. That's it. I'm going to go get ready to watch wrestling. Dana's going to go get ready for bed.
I'm a boring old lady. I mean, I feel like I'm a boring old lady. I mean, I know I'm not.
I've been going to bed early lately too. I've been last night and the night before. I wasn't asleep, but I was like in bed at like 8 o'clock. I was like, I'm done. I'm going to bed.
It's because you get up so stupid early to exercise.
I do. 5 a.m.
Absolutely bonkers.
You just told me you got up at like 3 this morning.
I didn't mean to. No, I woke up at 3. I didn't get up till like 3:30.
Okay.
I mean, I woke up. I tried to go back to sleep. I gave up. I got up. Woke up, gave up, got.
You got to give up to get up.
No, yeah, that's the way it goes.
Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody.
And we love you all, or at least I do. I don't know about Steve. I
love you guys too, even though I don't show it because I'm a man and I have toxic masculinity.
Don't they got a pill for that?
Is it one of those blue ones? No, that's something different. Is it one of those?
You know where you can put that pill, Steve? You know where you can put that pill?
In my mouth, and then I swallow it.
Oh,
that's what you do with pills, right? Is that what you do with those pills? Anyway, bye everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Pleasant dreams.